Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Thanks, Chelsea. Here is Carlos Almeida with the Intracast Show. What's up, guys? We are here with this new project. The idea behind that show is a talk show, as the name saying, is to be launched between the episodes of Jiu-Jitsu Café podcast. On that approach, we will talk about fight events will happen. Events had been realized a few days before the episode, and also some topics or ideas who appeared on Jiu-Jitsu Café podcast, and also some personal thoughts. If this kind of topics can be positive to our community. Our mission is basically that. Bring to our listeners the news about fight scenario all over the world, and we will never measure efforts for that.
So Rose Namajunas versus Jessica Andrade, the fight that I'm personally looking forward to. Rose is actually one of my favorite fighters. Now, if we look at their previous outing, Rose was winning till she lost, right? Basically, Jessica Andrade had absolutely no idea how to handle Rose's very clinical striking till she managed to slam Rose on her head. Now, if we look at their statistics, Rose is, like I said, a very clinical striker, a very calculated striker. She throws in a lot of feints, a lot of fakes. And, she's what many people would call an educated striker. She knows exactly how to set her strikes up. She knows how to get reactions from her opponent. In contrast, Jessica is a power striker. She's a wrecking ball. Basically, she just charges forward, throwing those left, rights. She'll try and push you to the cage, try and throw those short punches to the body and head, and basically overwhelm you with violence. Now, last time she wasn't able to manage that against Rose, simply because Rose just kept sidestepping all of Jessica's charges. However, it'll be pretty interesting to see what happens this time, because, like I said, Jessica already knows what Rose is planning to do, and Rose knows what Jessica is capable of doing. So it will be very interesting to see how Rose handles Jessica's power in grappling this time, whether she can keep Andrade off with her strikes, pick her up with those clean striking, and whether Andrade is able to close in the distance, maybe push her to the cage. And the key to Andrade winning again will be to probably push Rose to the cage, keep her there for a little while, wrestle, and try and take her to the ground. However, it won't be over once it hits the ground, because Rose has got pretty slick grappling skills also. So yeah, it seems to be quite an interesting fight, and looking forward to it.
So the next fight on the card is the legendary Jose Aldo going up against the up-and-coming Peter Yan. So considering the fact that Jose is coming from two back-to-back losses to Alexander Volkanovski, in his featherweight bout in May 2019, and then he lost to Marlon Moraes at his bantamweight debut in December 2019. It's a bit surprising that he was called to fight on Peter Yan to fill this vacant title, but I think also believe that his weight cut was one of the bigger issues against his previous bout, against Marlon Moraes. So I think considering the fact that he's very confident with his weight cut this time, we will see a more healthy and recovered Jose Aldo. But having said that, I think Peter Yan has been on a win streak. I believe he has gone 6-0, if I'm not mistaken, in the last 2 years in UFC. And I think this is more of the passing of the torch fight, and I believe that Peter Yan might have the tools to beat Jose Aldo and take the bantamweight title.
Alex Volkanovski versus Max Holloway too. Again, I mean, the first fight was interesting enough to. It was really interesting because the way Alex outstruck Max Holloway and the way he took the fight on decision, it shows that Alex has got a chin on him. Alex's game got tested. Max has been one of the greatest 145-pound champions, and I think. This is going to be another technical striking clinic between both of those guys, and I think we'll get to see another exciting, technical brawl kind of a fight. Except this one's going to be very technical and sharp, landing strikes than the one between Peter Yan and. Jose Aldo, because both of these guys, they throw volume, both of these guys they throw crisp shots, so I'm super excited to see this one.
So Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal. What a turn of events. I was watching the entire card unfold, and it was just grabbing a popcorn moment. It's crazy, man, because I like both of these guys. Usman has that understanding of distance and range. Obviously, apart from his technical prowess in striking and then being a great wrestler, and just overall a really well-rounded MMA athlete, and hence the reason he's the champion. But Jorge Masvidal, with the streak he's been keeping up and with the mentality he's been showing in his latest fights, it's been A, really sort of murderous, and B, not just downright crazy, batshit crazy, where you're just the technique is out the window. He's angry. He's in there to hurt the other person, really bad, put them down. But he's super technical with it. He never misses the timing of throwing the right tool at the right place, such as that moment in the Nate Diaz fight where Diaz tried to keep dip to his rear hand, and then Masvidal was right there, man. Just a couple of body kicks, and that body kick turned into a head kick for Diaz, and then messed him up really bad. So. And that's just one of the many things he's got up his arsenal, obviously. So it's going to be a crazy matchup. I'm on team Masvidal. I want Jorge Masvidal to win it because he has been a part of the game for a long time. I used to watch him in Strikeforce, and he's come a long way, man. And this guy deserves it, obviously, and just for the kind of person he is. But there's this corner in my heart which tells me. There's a sound there which says no, Usman's gonna get it. So I'm just torn between two. If I have to give a prediction based upon my emotions and my attachment to the athlete, it's gonna be Jorge Masvidal, but who knows, it's just gonna be crazy.
Thanks all our 4 special guests to share with us all their thoughts and their impressions about what can happen in the UFC 251 on the Saturday. I hope you enjoyed, guys, this episode, and stay with us, stay tuned. As I said before, this kind of podcast will be between the Jiu-Jitsu Cafe podcast episodes, and we will do many different things on this podcast. It's kind of a talk show. Please feel free to put all your thoughts, all your comments, give us opinions, put some topics so we can discuss on the next episodes from the Intracast Show. Also, if you want to see someone on Jiu-Jitsu Cafe podcast, please let us know on the comments, and stay safe, stay healthy. Stay tuned. Every week we're gonna bring to you some news about the fight world, and also every week new guests on Jiu-Jitsu Cafe podcast. See you then, guys. Bye bye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode?
Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.